Have you ever wanted to know what it's like in a Hamilton audition? Well, you are in luck. I am not in Hamilton, never have been in Hamilton, but I have a special guest today who has, and they're going to tell you all you need to know about Hamilton auditions. So, get a notepad, get some caffeine, get some water, and buckle up because we are talking all things Hamilton today on Broadway Banter.
Being a Broadway performer is pretty cool. And a lot of hard work, but getting there is even harder. I'm gonna tell you all about it. I'm Adrienne Walker. Welcome to 32 Bar Cut.
All right, y'all. So today we have a special guest on Broadway Banter. His name is Austin Cook, and he just so happens to be my husband.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So we know that you're not cutting off your head, because I don't think I was leaning this forward when I was doing that thing.
Well, why would we be cutting off our heads if we go closer? We'd be cutting off our heads. Okay, you want to go check it?
Yeah, I just want to check, because I don't want to waste tape, just in case.
I won't move. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Are you going to drink while I'm talking?
I'm just going to be myself.
Okay, well. Anyway. Let me get right back into the right mind space. Thank you. So, like I said before, today you're going to hear about what it's like to do a Hamilton audition. We have a special guest today. His name is Austin Cook. He has been a music associate with Hamilton.
Music associate. Yeah, I guess that's my only title. Well, I have sub key 2.
Yeah.
But music associate's the title.
Yeah, music associate on the Angelica tour of Hamilton. And
subbed on the Philip tour. Mm-hmm. And then subbed on... No, I didn't sub on any other tour. Did I sub on the other tours? I don't know. But also Broadway.
And then you conducted on Broadway, yeah. So if you know anything about the conductors for the show, they also have to play the show and conduct the show, and they interact with the actors. It's a lot. It's a lot. So we are going to have another show or another episode.
3 or 4.
Or 3 or 4 where we talk about what his audition process was like for Hamilton, because yes, music associates also have to audition.
I still have the video of that.
You do?
Which we could show.
Oh, we should show.
The video of my audition.
I think that needs to be shown.
But that would be super embarrassing.
With the world.
Super embarrassing.
Alex Lackamore saw it, so that's all that matters. Anyway, I've never been in Hamilton, obviously, but Austin has for at least...
But you auditioned for Hamilton. Are you going to talk about that?
Maybe.
That goes with this conversation, really.
I don't know if I want to talk about that. So anyway, we're done bantering. We just or maybe the whole episode will be bantering. I don't know. But Austin's going to give you guys some. Oh no, I said you guys. Oh, I've been trying not to say that.
Shouldn't say that. I got it out of my vocabulary.
No, I don't even just mean like saying you guys. I just mean like that everyone on YouTube says you guys.
Oh, that is true.
So I'm trying not to say you guys.
You do see that on every video.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. Today we're going to talk about... All right, you guys. We'll see you next time. It's like
hey y'all, because I'm from the South. Austin is going to give you some pointers and probably tell a few stories about being in the room where it happens, where they do Hamilton auditions, and some pointers for you to take with you when you get your call to be in the room. So, firstly, what's the general call like for Hamilton?
The general call? You mean like open auditions or?
I mean like your agent gets you in the room and they don't know what you're right for, so they give you a packet and it's basically a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, first off, I think what should be discussed is just the fact that when you get an audition for Hamilton, it's not going to be you come to New York, because I know a lot of people, we saw so many people that would come from all over, like take a bus ride 8 hours and they're like, I'm here for my Hamilton audition, which is awesome. But I always felt bad because they would come in the room and it's just me, the accompanist, and Bethany. Or, someone, Chelsea.
By Bethany, he means one of the major casting directors over at Telsey & Company. So Telsey & Company is a casting company in New York, and they cast Hamilton exclusively. So when I say exclusively, I mean they're the only casting director that casts for Hamilton, but I don't mean that's the only thing they cast. If you know Telsey and Company, you know that they cast a lot of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so Bethany is in charge of the casting for that. She's on responsible for that. And so that's something I've talked about in previous episodes of this show, is that when you go in for a Broadway audition, your first audition, kind of no matter what level you're on, is going to be maybe an associate from the show, maybe. But most likely it's just the casting director and an accompanist.
Yeah. With Hamilton, it's always going to be just the casting director. Actually, it's probably not even going to be Bethany. It's probably going to be one of her associates. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you're 6 parts removed from the Hamilton team, you know, or at least like the Lacamoires, the Alex Lacamoire, who is the music supervisor and who wrote the orchestrations and did the music.
So what you're saying basically is, you know, people maybe take off from work, they get a plane ticket, they take a bus ride, and they think, all right, this is my in, I'm going to meet Lin-Manuel Miranda, I'm going to see Alex Lacamoire, I'm going to have my Hamilton audition, when in actuality, none of those people are in the first round, or second round, or sometimes third.
No, because, you know, and it just makes sense, right? They don't want to waste their time. They don't want to waste your time. Nobody wants to get their time wasted. So it just is a vetting process, and you just have to understand that that's normal. That's just how every show is. Yeah. With Hamilton, you know, it's even more so because they take a lot of care to the casting. Not that other shows don't, but it's a very demanding show, incredibly demanding. So they almost bring the same demands they would bring to the show. They're going to bring to the casting process too, you know, because it's a little bit of a vetting process that way, just in the time it takes to learn the material. All that to say, when I would see folks arrive for their first audition, I would feel bad when I'd find out that, you know, they gave up all of their college tuition to take this flight, you know, overnight to be there for us, and it's just me and an associate, casting associate. So just go in knowing that this is the first audition. Hopefully you nail it, which you will. And then you're going to have a second, a third, fourth, fifth, sixth. I mean, probably a lot.
Yeah, before you're starting to see that they're really showing an interest in you and everything.
And that's normal. You know, it doesn't speak to your talent, doesn't speak to how great, you know, don't you know, it's just how it is.
It's just vetting.
It's just normal.
And so let's talk a little bit about the material. Yeah,
the material. So you're going to get, you know, and I don't want to speak out of place, you know,
it's different for everyone.
Well, no, I mean, I don't want to reveal the secrets of the Hamilton team
and the casting process and stuff. Yeah, that's true.
But general things, I mean, you're going to get a general packet first, normally.
And by general, you mean like if we break it down to the bare bones, what do you mean by general?
You're going to have like 2 songs. Like there's going to be like a male and a female, especially if you're in the dancer world. You're going to get 2 songs from the show, and I'm trying to think of what those are right now. I think it's "My Shot" is one of them for the ladies, you know, and I can't remember what the guy's side. Oh, it's "The Story of Tonight" is always one.
That makes sense,
especially for dancers. "The Story of Tonight" because it's the most like, you know, musical theater ballad song in the show, and they just want to see if you can sing. So they're just going to vet you to see if you can sing. What are your dancing credentials? Do you fit the world of the show? That's that first audition. So it's pretty simple. Just 2 basic sides. No monologue. There's no...
because it's through composed. Yeah, so it makes sense that there's no scenes, really. It's all music.
Yeah. But this brings me to the most important thing about Hamilton auditions, or almost any audition on Broadway. There isn't almost, but definitely with Alex Lacamoire shows, know the music.
Ooh.
And I mean know the music.
The rhythm.
You need to know everything about the music when it's Alex Lacamoire. He puts so much specificity and detail into what he does. Every note is there for a reason. Not only every note, the way the lyrics are put on the page, every dynamic, every little detail. Trust me. It's the same way for the conductors and the musicians. It is specific. And that he wants it done a certain way, and that's why he's so brilliant, and that's why he has all the Tonys and all the awards. So you need to come knowing that, and you need to put work into the sides. And when you do, it's going to show. You get the next audition.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Because that type of preparedness and passion, that's all they need to see for the first round.
And also, it's really good to keep in mind, too, that whenever you go into a casting room, you want to put your best foot forward, especially at a casting company like Telsey that casts so much. They cast TV and film, they cast musical theater, they cast straight plays in New York, regionally, all of that. Yeah. You want to put your best foot forward because you want to also book them. Yep. You want them to say, hey, I know when I call this actor in, they're going to be prepared, they're going to be timely, they're not going to embarrass me. And the only way you're going to get forward in the process, especially with Hamilton, is if you prove to the casting director every time you're in front of them that you're prepared and that you know the material and that you're enthusiastic and like happy to be there.
And a good person. Mm-hmm. I know everybody gets so nervous, and that's probably the hardest thing for me to watch as an accompanist because, I played hundreds of Hamilton auditions, and that's got to be the hardest part, is just watching the nerves, cripple actors. That's always difficult. And you have to know that, the accompanist and the casting, and even when the creative team comes, we're not scary. We're just nice.
Especially the Hamilton team.
They're really nice people.
The associate director, the music supervisor, I guess, what's his title then?
Oh, he's the Universal Music Associate. Universal Music Associate.
Anyway, they are both really kind.
They're super nice.
And I say that from my experience because, yes, I did audition for Hamilton along with the rest of New York. And my first go at it, I felt really confident. And then I got a call back and I felt really confident. And then I got a call back and, Tommy Kail was in the room. And then I lost all my nerve. I think I even said out loud, I'm so nervous.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's it. It's over. And I think it didn't matter. No, it was over then. They were done with me after that because I think the moment I said that, I lost them. But then they called me in again a year later and I got further along and I could see that my confidence was better because I'm like, what do I have to lose? And I could tell that they were happy with what I did. Other things happened and I needed to do something else. We don't have to get into that. But yeah, I'm talking from my audition experience as well, along with Austin.
Yeah, but basically the nerves. I know it's tough, but I don't know if it helps at all, but just know that the people behind that desk, which I'm there before the pandemic, I'd be at Telsey's offices daily, playing auditions, not just for this, but all these Broadway shows.
Yeah.
And everybody's super nice, especially at Telsey. The casting associates are nice, the accompanists are nice, most of them. And
they want you to succeed.
We want you to kill it. I want you to come in and just rock it. And I want to make music because I love making music. Accompanists love to make music with good artists. And it's just that's what we get to do all day. And when, you come in and you have prepared, you know the music, you know what you're handing me, the accompanist, man, it's just fun. But when the nerves are there or apologizing all the time, that's a bad one. I'm sorry, I just got off the plane, or I'm sorry, I just got here late, and I'm sorry I'm rushed, and I didn't have time to pee, and and the excuses, and then that comes from nerves. Try to curb that. Because that just doesn't look good to the casting team. They're are they kind of a mess? Are they going to be a messy in the show? It's take your time, breathe.
I think it too is good to just know they have so little time to decide if they can hire this person for a role. And if you really think about it, just from a producer standpoint, that's a lot of money. like, say for example, let's move away from Hamilton for a bit and just move into the Lion King, because there's so many expensive costumes in the Lion King. And so whenever they hire a new ensemble person in the Lion King, they're talking about dropping about $75,000 or more to build costumes for that person. Yeah. So they need to make sure that they aren't making a mistake and that they are right to go with this person and invest all that money in this person. Now with Hamilton, I'm sure the costumes are expensive as well. Costumes in general are expensive. They're handmade, they're tailored to the person. That's expensive. There's value in that. And so that's one thing, you know. The man hours it's going to take, or person hours it's going to take to train an individual, that's money. Putting him in the show, there's going to be a put-in. That means they have to hire the crew, they have to pay the crew, they have to pay the ensemble or the cast to be there if it's more than an 8-hour rehearsal week. So all of that comes into play. So it makes sense that you get called in 5, 6, 7 times for a show that's so tedious and detail driven, like Hamilton.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, speaking to the later auditions, you know, once you get that first audition, you do that. The second and third auditions, you may read for multiple characters. I've had many actors come in and have, I don't want to exaggerate, I think 60 is safe, 60 pages asides, because they'll have to do Mulligan Madison. They'll have to do Lafayette Jefferson. They'll have to do Hamilton. They'll have to do Burr. Yeah. They'll have to do all the Sons of Liberty.
Like for mine, I read for all 3 sisters. I was so overwhelmed by the amount of material they were asking me to learn. Yeah. I was grateful that I had listened to the album, but when you look on the page, some of the rhythms are different. Even a couple of words are different than what's on the page and what you hear on the album. Just slightly. And it's just enough to throw you when the nerves kick in. But yeah, I read for all 3 of the Schuyler sisters, and then they had me focus on one, and then they had me focus on another, and then they had me focus on another, and finally I think they were like, okay, we like her for this track, let's keep seeing her in this track. And it's funny because every time I got closer, I got more nervous because it felt attainable.
Yeah, that happens.
But now if I were to go in again now, I think I just wouldn't be nervous anymore because I've been so close before that it's like, well, you know, let's just have fun. And it actually is fun. If you drop those nerves, Hamilton is a fun audition.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a fun audition.
I have fun every time. I played hundreds of times. It's so fun. The music is so good. And and to do it with new people all the time because everyone brings in something fresh, something new. We had a couple auditions. We had a couple auditions where we had legit rappers come in, like never done theater, never been on stage. Like, well, they've been on stage, like at the club, but they would come in and do the stuff, like not reading music, just like kind of doing it. Oh man, it was so fun. It was so fun. Ultimately, they didn't get the job because they didn't have any theater experience, but it was just fun. And the point is that it should be fun.
Yeah, the point is it should be fun. And if you continue to think of your auditions as just a performance and not an evaluation and not a job interview, then...
Yeah, a performance. That's good.
I feel like that takes the edge off because then there's no checks and balances afterwards. You know, like, okay, how'd I do? Okay, give me some notes. It's just like, I performed. You know, like, I could leave right now and be okay with that.
And you know what's important that just made me think is that you don't know why you don't get the call back or why they don't call you back or why you did get the call back and why they did call you back.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know, so try not to be hard on yourself because there are many times when our dog is making an appearance. Yeah. Bella, how you doing? Hey. She just wants to walk. You wanted to go on that side?
Yeah, she wants to be by me.
She wants to be by you, of course.
Okay, sit down, my love.
You got to sit down. We're trying to record.
Sit down. She doesn't want to be over there.
Bella, go lay down. Why don't you go lay down? Go lay down.
She said that's what I was about to do.
Yeah, she said until you started talking to me. But I was saying, you don't know. What was I saying? Oh, yeah.
You don't know why you don't get the job.
You don't know why you're going to job. There are times when with Bethany or the casting, they're just looking for something specific.
Yeah.
They know that they need someone that that they know that this particular understudy role is coming available in June on this specific tour for 6 months because that actor's leaving to
and
shoot a movie.
And they need to be a certain height.
They have to fit into those costumes because it's a temporary fill, blah, blah, blah. They're looking for that. And you come in and you're 6'5" and you have really curly hair, big curly hair. And they're looking for somebody really short who's bald. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. This is hypothetical. But you get what I'm saying. You don't know why you didn't get. You may have killed it, and then guess what? They may have put you in the file because there is a file.
There's a file.
And in the file, you're probably in the folder that says that person is awesome.
Yeah.
They rock.
Because they
and
have
then they'll call you in 6 months.
Yeah, there's so many casts now.
Yeah.
Well, not now. Not now in April of 2021. But when we're all back running and everything, there are so many casts of Hamilton that they definitely have like a Rolodex, like a file of actors that are suitable that they want to call back in when those positions are available. They see you, they're like, oh my God, that's Mulligan, or whatever. So it's good to keep that in mind too. And that's it. You make a good point that you never know why you're not cast. But we as actors sometimes think, oh, it's me, it's my talent, it's something I didn't do, it's my body, it's my voice, it's oh, that one lyric I missed. It's not that. It's not that. It's a whole bunch of other factors that you have no control over it. And it's really good to keep that in mind. That
is so true. I always say, I'm just making up numbers, but I always, when we talk about this, 90% is out of your control. But that 10%, you better do everything you can in that 10%. What I'm referring to is preparation. If you come into that Hamilton audition, you know the things that I've talked about and that you should know. People like Alex Lacamoire did the show. They're responsible. They're the music departments. Alex Lacamoire is demanding. Everything he does on the page is perfect. It's there for a reason. He placed it there himself after meticulous thought. Knowing that, put care into the audition prep. You have to know the notes on the page. You have to know the dynamics. You have to have it memorized. You have to be rehearsed. And then that's the 10% I'm referring to. You come into the audition knowing all that, man, that wins over the casting director. And it may not be for this show. Yeah. Because you're not, that 90% is off. Something's wrong with the type.
Or the timing.
But you better believe that all these casting directors, when they see you in that prepared, that professional, handling something like that, you're in the file for another show, or they'll think of you for something else.
I want to talk about something that you probably know more about being in all these audition rooms. Is okay. So say you've made it a few rounds, and now maybe associate or actually Tommy Kaler or Alex Lacamoire is giving you notes. Like, how do you make those adjustments in the room when you've drilled certain things?
Yep, you got to make the adjustments. Yep, because those adjustments, it's hard. But first, number one, make the adjustment. Don't just do the same thing.
Don't do the same thing, no.
If you do the same thing, it's over. Just over. So, knowing that
and the reason it's over is because you've shown them, because they don't have a lot of time, remember, you've shown them you can't take direction.
Yeah, because when you get the job, if you get the job, you're going to be getting direction. And let me give you a little secret.
Heavy-handed.
Let me give you a little Hamilton secret behind the scenes. You're going to get a lot of direction. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't matter who you are. And I've worked with brilliant people in the company of Hamilton. Everybody gets a ton of notes. Yeah. All the time. A year into doing the show, they've done 300 performances. Here comes the notes. You're going to get notes. You have to show in those auditions that you're willing to receive it, that you receive it with a good attitude,
that you're eager to receive
it, that you're ready to explore like good actors should be able to do, and that you do make the adjustments. So you have to make the adjustments. Now your question was, how do you make the adjustments?
Yeah, when you've been drilling something and you feel kind of stuck.
I don't really have the answers for that other than to say that that's one of the things you do as an actor, right? You explore choices, you
Yeah.
explore different things. You probably, when you rehearse, should go ahead and test yourself in
Try
those ways.
different
Try
ways.
different things.
Yeah.
What if I did it like this? What if I did it like this? What if I did? I think that this is what I'm going to do for the audition.
Yeah.
But what if I did it like this? Because inevitably, what's going to happen is you're going to be singing Dear Theodosia. You're going to prep Dear Theodosia.
Yeah.
You're going to prep in your own way. Maybe you've seen a bootleg. Maybe you've seen the show. Maybe you haven't. And you're going to say, okay, Dear Theodosia to me is, she's out in the distance and I see her and I'm away from her and I'm placing Dear Theodosia and you're placing it and you're kind of calling out to her, singing it at a mezzo forte. And they say, hey, that was great. We love what you did. That's why you're here. That's why we're in the room. We want to see it as if you're cradling your baby and you're just whispering to her, just singing to her whispered. Now, secret, again, an inside
good,
secret,
that's good.
it may not be how they do it in the show.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't want how they do it in the show. They
Yeah.
know how they do it in the show. They see it every day. They want to see just how
An
you
adjustment.
play.
Yeah.
So don't let that throw you if they're doing something you're like, that's not what they do in the show.
Yeah.
That's because they just want to see you play. They want to see how you are as an actor, how you take direction. So maybe,
That's
in
really
answer to your
helpful.
question,
Yeah.
you have to get those things in your prep. You have to think, what if I did it like this? Or what if I did it like this?
To keep you from being rigid.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's a really good tip. I feel like I've heard that before in like an on-camera class, and then I like forgot about it.
It's hard. It's one of the things is actors should be in the moment. You should live and breathe like in the moment, but that is difficult when you have to prepare so much, especially something that's really specific.
Yeah, I remember when I was preparing for that audition, I was like waiting on the subway, just like spitting lines, because I needed to get it down.
Yeah.
And I needed to get it down with distractions. You know? Yeah. I feel like we've kind of covered the audition process for Hamilton. Do you feel like we've covered it?
No. There's like
So
100,000
there's so much
things
more to say.
There's so much to talk about.
Do you guys have questions? Like, do
Yeah.
you want to put questions down below and maybe we can like do a part 2 of...
Let us know your questions because I'm game to answer it. We'll do a
Yeah.
part 2. You know,
Yeah.
we're here to answer your questions because I've seen so many of you in the audition room and I could tell there's questions or maybe you're unsure and we
Yeah.
want to help you. We want you to succeed. We want you to book it and slay it.
Yeah. Because honestly, it's from my experience that, yeah, Hamilton is a hot ticket, but there are also so many companies, they're constantly looking for actors.
Yeah.
So
And it's going to be around for a long time.
it's going to be around for a long time. Look at The Lion King. The Lion King's been around
Yeah.
for 23 years.
It's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great show. And work that material.
Yeah.
Work it. Don't rush it.
And your way, too. I think that's important because you don't want to sound like the album. Or do you want to sound like the album?
You don't want to sound like the album. Someone like another brilliant thing about Lack. I'm sorry to say Lack. Alex Lackmore. The people that know him call him Lack. What was that?
Nothing.
What?
I said he knows him.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. He's the best. But one of the things that makes him brilliant is Lack will cater each track or role to the actor that's
To the
playing
actor,
it.
yeah. Because I think
So-
what's so cool about Hamilton is when you hire a new person or when I see a new company, like, because I got to see the Angelica tour because Austin was on it, and then I got to see the Broadway company of 2018, or I think, when did you do that conducting debut? I got to see one of the Broadway companies, but it's changed so much that what's so striking to me is how everyone takes on the characters and the voices. The voices are so different. You know, they're singing the same pitch, but the timbre of the voices is what really makes it magical, because you get so used to hearing the album that you think that's what you're going to hear, but it's so magical to hear the different voices and the different ways that actors bring the character out of themselves. So don't be afraid of that.
Yeah, be yourself, but at the same time, I can't say it enough, be specific about what's on the page, though.
Yeah.
Interpretation is one thing, but do what's on the page, and then let the timbre of your voice, your acting, your choices that way be unique.
Yeah.
But you want to sing what's on the page.
It's so specific.
The runs that are on the page are the runs you're going to sing in the show. You don't do your own runs.
Oh, yeah. I did, that not helpless. Schuyler Sisters run at the end. Yeah, that's not my ministry. And I had to learn all 3 of the harmonies, and then do them at different times, so that my brain was struggling a bit. I don't have a
That's
swing
hard
brain.
because they'll make a lot of the when you go for Angelica or Eliza or Peggy, they'll make you learn Schuyler Sisters, but most of the time the 3 versions
Each one.
So you gotta know there's 3 harmonies. The little interjections. It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Because I think ultimately they're trying to figure out or eliminate the possibility of someone being a cover for the Schuyler Sisters. So if they find someone that has the range to do all 3, then they'll start considering them for a cover too, or standby or whatever.
Yeah. What else is there to talk about Telsey and Hamilton? What are the questions you get?
I think a good thing for Telsey, is that Telsey does fly out and do local calls too, right? I've gone to
with
a
equity,
Chicago
they're
call.
required to.
Yeah, they do local calls. You should definitely expect that local call will be a local accompanist who may or may not have a mastery of the accompaniment. And not to shade any accompanist or pianist out there, it's just it seems like
difficult.
a very difficult score.
It's difficult.
And you're going to have a casting associate from Telsey looking at you, and you may never hear anything ever from it again unless you are, a diamond in the rough, a rare ruby that they're like, oh my gosh, okay, we got to call this person back to New York sometime. But it is tougher, I think, in other cities. Unless they're planning on having a sit down in that city and you're a local actor in that city, like when they were looking in LA or Chicago, then they're definitely going to be actually legitimately looking for actors in that city because that's less money for them to spend.
Less money.
Yeah.
Local hire.
Boom, pow. Yeah. What else about Telsey? Let's see.
We could do all video on Telsey.
We could do a video on Telsey.
We could walk.
Do you guys want a video on Telsey?
How to take the walk from the train?
Yeah. No.
Take the left on 43rd.
We haven't been in Manhattan in quite a while, but maybe we can take a little trip and give you guys a little play-by-play of what it's like to...
I'm not getting on the train right now.
Do Telsey.
The train's crazy. It used to be crazy. Now it's just...
Why? Why do
crazy.
it if you don't have to?
I'm not trying to get on the train. Go to Manhattan.
I think that's good for today.
There's so much to talk about with Hamilton, but yeah, as far as the auditions, that's a good chunk.
Yeah.
And then give us your questions. Also, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
Did you subscribe yet? Please subscribe.
Have you subscribed?
It's free.
And
doesn't cost anything.
it costs you nothing.
If you didn't like the video,
Double click
click that
thumbs down button. If you liked the video,
just 1 click or 3 or 5.
Yeah, any odd numbers is fine. All right, y'all. We are signing off for now. Hit us up with your questions. We'll definitely do another video like this. Austin will be back on in next week or
I get to come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him come back. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week.